Lignite Mining in Texas provides affordable, reliable, and much-needed power for the Lone Star State. Lignite is a plentiful, homegrown fuel source critical to meeting our state's energy needs at less than a third of the cost of other fuel sources. Lignite Mining and the electricity it produces also provide almost 33,000 jobs for Texas, with an economic impact of nearly $11 billion. Texas Lignite, the solution to Texas' rising energy needs and the fuel for our state's economic growth.
According to Texas's Public Utility Commission, Texas faces an imminent electricity shortage and additional energy supplies are required immediately to keep pace with rising demand. Texas Lignite fuels the majority of electricity generation from coal in Texas. Specifically, Lignite fuels 25% of the electricity in our state. As the largest generator of electricity in the nation, Texas ranks first in the U.S. in coal consumption for electricity generation. Coal, one of the many fuel sources used in Texas, provides 37% of our electric generation. Coal is a reliable, inexpensive source of energy. Coal is less expensive than any other major fossil fuel source, and using coal to generate electricity costs less than a third of the cost of other fuels. Texas has vast lignite reserves, and this in-state fuel source provides energy security and stability. We are the 5th largest coal producer in the nation, and the abundant lignite resources Texas offers provides energy independence, stability, and security.
The Texas Mining Reclamation Association is an industry trade association for the mining folks in the state. We have over 100 members that represent the mining companies, electric utility companies, and a lot of suppliers of mining-related products and services in the state. As a voice of the mining industry, we support the balance between mineral production, environmental protection, economic strength, and public welfare.
Texas's population and energy demand are growing, and the state's energy generating capacity must be expanded to keep pace with this rising demand. Texas needs new power generation sources, and we must rely on a diverse mix of fuel sources to meet anticipated load growth. Coal is a critical power source in this diversified fuel portfolio.
The state of Texas is growing rapidly, and the surplus of power in the state of Texas is diminishing quickly, and there's a need for additional power generation. And I think it's going to take an important fuel mix to accomplish having the energy we need. And lignite is a very important part of that mix. It's a stable source of energy. It's a low-cost source of energy.
Lignite was first developed because of rising gas prices. And it was felt that lignite economics were more favorable than natural gas, and it proved to be that way for much of the recent history of lignite. So it proved that it could develop electricity at a very competitive rate and at a very favorable rate. And those projections continue into the future. So lignite plays a role not only because it's an available resource in Texas, but because it provides cost-competitive electricity generation.
Lignite makes up a major percentage of our generation capacity. Lignite Mining Company currently has 7 mine permits that are approved by the Road Commission of Texas. That includes over 100,000 acres of land.
Lignite was chosen as the fuel of choice primarily because of the cost. I firmly believe that Texas lignite, coal in general, is a fuel source that was intended for us to utilize.
Coal has to be part of the electricity mix of this state. One of the advantages that we have is using a source that's homegrown, if you will, and that's Texas lignite and Texas coal. So we have the opportunity of using a Texas fuel to power Texas for a long, long time to come.
Lignite is the most abundant coal found in Texas. Texas has vast in-state lignite reserves. Coal reserves in Texas amount to some 23 billion tons, of which 10 billion tons are economically recoverable.
It's probably safe to say that lignite wasn't even known in Texas to any great degree before the 1970s. And at that time, several mines were opened in northeast Texas, and lignite became a huge player in the generation of electricity, particularly for the north central Texas area. The reserves of Texas are huge, and it's to the point that their development has led to us being the 5th largest lignite or coal producer in the country.
Texas Lignite is there, it's plentiful, it's convenient, it's within the state of Texas. Mining that lignite affords us the availability of jobs for a lot of mining people, also jobs at power plants. So it is a vital part of the fuel mix that needs to be utilized.
Lignite mining has enormously positive economic impact on Texas. Lignite mining is a significant contributor to the Texas economy in terms of supplying energy to grow the economy, providing jobs, and generating tax revenue. Lignite mining and the electricity produced provide approximately 33,000 safe and secure jobs to Texans and about $10.5 billion in economic impact. Local economies in lignite regions of the state are positively impacted by these operations. Lignite mining operations provide needed jobs and tax bases for schools, hospitals, and other essential services for the communities located nearby.
We're very fortunate to have the mine in our county. We've got right at $3 million of revenue comes in every year to the taxing entities, and when you can drive very few miles to come to work and have a good paying job and put that money back in the community, it's the best thing in the world. I don't want to be county commissioner when they turn the lights off.
It's very welcomed by the community. It has furnished jobs for boys that would, after they graduated from school here, would normally had to move away to get a good job.
It provides quite a bit of tax revenue, lots of jobs. There's a lot of people in Jourdanton that are employed out here.
Certainly our mining operations are very important to the local communities that are near our mine sites. These mines mean jobs. It means new families moving to the community. It means new tax dollars. The communities welcome these operations, and our mining companies are part of that local community.
Lignite coal is a key natural resource in Texas. Unlike coal deposits in other parts of the country requiring underground mining, most Texas lignite deposits lie near the surface and are easily reached with modern mining technology. In 1975, the Texas legislature called on the Railroad Commission to regulate surface mining of coal. We also administer a reclamation program for lands that have been mined. Reclamation is the restoration of land and environmental values to a mining site. In most cases, the restored land is brought to an even more productive state than before it was mined.
The lignite mining industry has a strong track record of environmental compliance and a successful land reclamation program. Each year, the Texas lignite mining industry spends in excess of $100 million on land restoration and other environmental procedures, including groundwater protection and improvement, clean air protection, and archaeological review and protection.
Restored land is used for cattle grazing, crops, commercial timber, wildlife habitat, and wetlands. Most impressive to me are the reclamation successes that I have personally witnessed over the years. These are some of the most beautiful lands I've seen anywhere in the Lone Star State.
They've really worked hard, and if you see the hay that's cut off these places and the way they've rebuilt and restructured everything, it's absolutely phenomenal. They've done a great job.
The reclaimed land is reclaimed to the contours that are desired by the landowners of the land. They have a lot of input into how the land is reclaimed, including what vegetation eventually gets planted on it that's most desirable to them as landowners. I believe the mining industry's net impact on the environment is very positive. Land that we reclaim is typically equal to or better than when it was there before mining. We're able to control the contours of the land, make it more productive land, create situations where wildlife can inhabit the land, and ultimately make it the best land possible for the landowners that are going to use the land.
Emissions from Texas coal-fired power plants have been dramatically reduced over the past 20 years. Since just 2000, the Texas coal-fired power industry has spent over $1 billion to reduce NOx emissions and resulted in Texas having the 6th best emission rate of any state in the country and the best NOx emission rate as a fleet of any state in the country that uses coal. The Texas mining industry isn't just satisfied with what it's